All right, ready to boogie?
I'm ready.
All right, cool.
Let's do it.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode ever of Birdwatching, where we ask chicks questions to get some answers for you guys. I have a very special guest today, Miss Jessie Holland. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so fun. So behind the cameras, we have a couple friends. We have Travis, who's my sound guy. So he doesn't bite. You can say hi to him.
Hey, Travis. How are you?
Okay, he bites sometimes. But.
Okay.
All right,
Not me.
All right, but the first thing we do, Jessie, we do a rooster review. So we like to take a beverage, a rooster, and we try it out, give our review, 1 to 10. Got to use decimal points because whole numbers are rookie scores.
All right.
And then from there, we'll talk about why we gave it what we gave it. So
I see we have Fanta.
Yep.
So what's different about this?
This is Fanta Fruit de Dragon. It's from France. I think it's dragon fruit and mango flavored.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty bougie.
Should we open it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So why is it bougie? You said it was like $6.
It's imported, so
okay.
We're kind of like fancy schmancy.
It's like wine. You got to smell it. You got to twirl it.
We should have like a little spit jar.
I know.
Spit jar.
I'm actually gonna swallow it. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Let's
Think
see.
it and sink it.
I got a lot of orange at first. What about you? Or is that mango?
I'm tasting the citrus. I think it's the mango.
It's very citrusy.
It's good though. I like it. It has a.
It's not bad.
It's kind of refreshing. Yeah, I actually dig it a lot.
If I had to compare it to anything, I would say like orange juice. Right? Kind of like the citrus.
I can't really taste the passion fruit that much.
Yeah, me neither. I'd probably rate it like a 7.
A 7?
Are you into fruit juice? Because I'm really not.
I like apple juice.
Apple juice?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah, big apple juice guy.
I don't remember the last time I've had apple juice.
Really? We should have had that for a drink.
I know. But yeah, I'd probably rate it like a 7. What about you?
I would give it like a 7.4.
7.4.
Yeah.
All right. Very specific.
No rookie numbers.
Why 7.4?
You got to give it a decimal. I think
okay.
The accent of the mango is what really gets me.
Mm-hmm.
I think the passion fruit's lacking a little bit, so you stay shy of 8.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a little bit of tequila mixed with it might be like an 8.3.
This would be a good mixer.
Right.
I honestly only taste orange juice. I'm not gonna lie.
I just like actually filled it with orange juice.
Like
instead.
it literally tastes like orange juice, but a little bit of mango. It's not bad.
It's good. I
Shout
like
out,
it.
Shout out Fanta.
Shout out Fanta.
$6. You really had me sold. I'm not too impressed.
We had to pay the import fees.
Yeah, shout out to that.
All right, so Jessie, I want to get to know you a little bit better. Obviously, I know you pretty well, but the people behind the cameras are our followers. They don't really know you yet. So let's get into some details about you, a little bit about your life. First question for you. Tell me a little bit about, growing up and what it was like, around middle school, high school. What was that like?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, thank you for having me.
Of course.
I feel very honored to be, your first podcaster.
Yeah.
Is that what you would?
Yeah,
is that what you call it?
First
okay.
podcaster. Yeah, I like that.
Excellent. Well, hi guys. My name is Jessie Holland. I was actually born in California, raised in Arizona. I'm practically a native, right? So, graduated high school, went to college. I actually went to a community college, GCC. And I went to do law enforcement. I wanted to be a cop.
Really?
And then a detective, like CSI,
I didn't know that.
I actually got into nutrition because, in high school, I was heavy on sports. After high school, I wasn't really doing anything sport related outside of that, just like working out. So
what sports did you play in high school?
I did cross country, track, basketball, and then in the summer I would do co-ed basketball. So practically like my whole... through elementary, through high school, I was in sports. So after high school, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out something new. So I got into weightlifting.
Nice.
So through college, I was like, let me be a nutritionist. And actually, this was like a huge pivotal moment of my life because at the time I was doing nutrition through school. I had my biggest breakup of 7 years. And on top of that, I got into weightlifting or bodybuilding. So I was competing in bikini competitions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
how long did you do that for?
I did 3 competitions back to back, which is very brutal.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to take a toll on your body a bit.
Correct, but it was very it was a very important moment in my life because with my relationship and us breaking up of 7 years and kind of like restarting, I really typically when you break up with someone, what do? You go out, you party,
right?
But I was put in a situation where immediately into like competing, which is very strict diet. Like you can't do any of those things. So through that time in my life where, I lost everything because I lived with him, like he paid for me to go to college, like he paid for like my housing. I had to literally, go home and live back with my parents. I had to really like sit with myself and like heal and learn from those things. So it was really good. And I learned a lot of like my disciplines, which carried me through a lot of things that I have now. So very grateful for those experiences. But, after competing, I got it. Like I was serving on the side. I actually picked up on serving. I dropped out of college. And I had like a regular who was building his real estate brand or his real estate team. And he was like, hey, you should come on board and work with me. So I quit serving and I took on, the testing, which was really hard. And again, like all the disciplines I learned through bodybuilding and stuff like that really helped with getting into working like 1099. Because you have to be very disciplined to do all these things.
100%,
so
yeah, for sure.
With real estate, and shout out to all the people who do real estate, it's very rough. You have to do 3 tests, state, school, and national. And I failed each one like 5 to 8 times.
Really?
Yeah,
so it's like tough. Do you have to get like above a 70% or like how does it work?
Man, I can't remember. It's been so long. I think, but like above 70, 75.
Yeah.
So once I passed all that, got into real estate, it was a grind. Like real estate's very different. Very different. It really wasn't for me. So actually I got back into serving.
Okay.
But once I got back into serving, I was like, there's got to be something else out there for me. My boyfriend at the time actually introduced me into insurance, and that's kind of how I got into where I'm at now.
Right on. So you're doing insurance right now?
I am.
What company do you work for right now?
I work with American Income Life.
Cool. Same here, by the way.
Yeah. We're coworkers. Yes.
Yeah, that's how we know each other. That's awesome, though. So first job was real estate. You did housing and stuff like that. A lot of testing. Pretty tough. But it definitely taught you something about, where you're at right now.
Oh, for sure.
You definitely learned some traits, qualities going into insurance industry. What are the similarities between those two? And like, do you think that, what you learn in real estate has made a huge impact in your success with insurance now?
For sure. So the failure I had at the beginning of real estate made it not seem as bad with insurance because I'm not good with testing at all. Clearly you can tell with my real estate exams. But when I got into insurance, it actually took me 7 times to pass my exam. So I was like, I understand like the process, just have to go through it. But through like, again, all those disciplines that I learned and the failures I have had, I knew like there's going to be a brighter side. Just had to get through it.
Do you see yourself sticking in insurance for a while now? Like, is it long term?
Very long term. Yeah, if anything, I'm going to do my 10 years, but I plan to do more because there's a lot of impact to be made, regardless of the situation I'm in or,
Once you got into insurance, obviously, at first maybe it was just like a job, but what kind of kept you around? Like, what made it so important to you?
So, and I compare it to real estate so much because it's very similar business, both sales, right?
Right.
Whereas real estate, I literally had to go fetch leads. Like in the middle of 110 degrees, I'd door knock. I'd have to call.
Just sweating.
Literally, I'd have to use a colleague's open house to call hundreds of people around it to see if they'd come to the open house and see if I'd be a potential realtor for them. Like the grind is real. The grind is real. So to be in an industry where leads are provided, I work from home, like it's honestly a no-brainer. And then obviously with business, how do you grow your business? Referrals, right? And to know that I can get infinite referrals in my business, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. It's a crazy concept. I think people look over it a lot, but
facts.
Obviously you're finding amazing success with AI right now. You're doing great in your career. So congratulations on that. It's awesome. It's fun to watch.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Outside of work though, what do you do? Like what occupies your time? Do you still work out?
I do. Okay. Yes. So I actually have a personal trainer 5 days a week. Shout out Sammy Soul. Yes.
Sammy Soul.
Yes.
We'll put his tag right here.
We will.
What's
absolutely.
up, Sammy? How you doing, boss?
It's important to have someone, like same thing in business. Like you have to have someone there and, have times like set in the schedule or else it won't get done.
Right.
Like, so I take that very personal with my personal life as well. Like it's mandatory. If I don't have that structure, it's not going to get done.
Right.
Because I get very busy.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have to hire someone to help me.
Right,
yeah. Keep me on track. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Accountability for sure is important. No doubt. Do you have any, outside of, even like time management stuff, structured out stuff, things that are improving your life. What are your vices? Like what shows do you watch right now? What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Okay,
do you party hardy? You hit the clubs, or are you like at the library on the weekends? What do you do?
I do go out often. So working from home, you kind of don't want to be home
right.
when you can be. So
definitely.
As many times as I can get an opportunity to get out and, network, meet people, even, it's mainly social drinking for sure.
Yeah.
I find myself out more often than not. It's not a bad thing, but it's where I'm able to create connections, and it's honestly a time for me to kind of like break free from
right.
the crazy life I have,
Sounds like even on your time off, though, you're very business oriented.
Mm-hmm,
you're
absolutely.
like, I was like, what do you do for fun? You're like, well, network.
Exactly. And it's all about building relationships.
It definitely
sure,
is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. That's the only way you kind of climb the ladder in pretty much any industry that you're getting into.
Correct.
But
yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome.
So definitely gym, hang out with friends as much as I can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get out.
Right on. How's relationships looking right now for you? Like, are you? I shouldn't say that, right? Okay, hold on.
No, it's good. It's good. No, you're being.
No.
No, it's a good question. Yeah, just recently, kind of got out of like a relationship that I've been in for like 5 months. The longest I've had since my last relationship. So
the 7-year one.
I had a 7-year one and then a 3-year one.
Wow,
yeah.
you got some long-term relationships.
Right. So this is the longest I've been single.
I think,
for sure.
Yeah, I've been single for a while. I think the longest I've dated a girl is maybe like 5 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta help you.
Yeah, I know, low key. We'll talk about my dilemma at the end of the show.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's cool. I need help, honestly. I need some
you.
girls' advice. No, it's good though.
Just kidding.
So what was, like, out of all the relationships that you've had so far, what was like your best meet cute story? So the one that was like, it just felt so natural and you guys just connected right off the bat. Maybe he did something cute.
Okay. No, this is a good question. So it's crazy. My 2 long-term relationships were just so natural. Like my second relationship, I swear to God, this is what happened. Like we literally met. I took him home and he never left. Like I'm not kidding.
Really? Like
yeah,
like a stray puppy.
It was so natural. Yeah. Like he literally moved in like the next, and we were together for 3 years. So.
Really?
And since then I've been like trying to find that connection where it's like right off the bat,
Right. Just natural,
but
organic.
I'm like, was that a once in a lifetime thing, or does that happen again? I
think it happens. So what was that movie? There's like a movie, something Bronx, like this Tale of the Bronx, where the guy talks to the kid and he says something like, you find 3 true loves in your life.
Oh, I've heard that.
Make sure you don't waste them all, or something like that.
Oh,
you know
no, I'm hearing about something different now.
Really? Okay, never mind that.
They say like your first one's the hardest, second one's practice, your third one's it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think I said it wrong. I quoted the movie wrong, and she.
That's okay. I got you. Something like that.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So what did out of the 2 relationships that kind of came organically, what did they do to stand out from the jump? Was it a physical attraction? Did you see him across the room and you were like, oh dang, like let's get it going? Or what was it? Did they approach you? How did it work?
Yeah, I feel like when I was younger, it was all about physical, for sure. And I feel like the older I'm getting, it's very different.
Definitely.
It's like you can be very attractive, but do you stimulate my mind?
Agreed.
Right. So with those relationships, yeah, absolutely. And then I think I adjusted like my standards and stuff because, again, it was like, oh, they're good looking,
right,
or oh, the vibe's right. Whereas dating for me now has been so different because I don't really like, the looks are great and all. That's
important.
It's
for
important.
Sure.
It is important to be physically attracted to the person you like, but for me, I'm like, do you inspire me when we wake up? Like, are we like having growth conversations? Are we talking about vision? And it's been something that's been huge.
For sure.
That I cannot find when I date now.
No, so. I totally agree. I'm in the same boat. I definitely remember in high school going through, and you always wanted to date like the cutest girl in school.
Right.
Even college, you get to college and you're like, I want to be walking to class with like a cute girl around my arm, like look cool. And then you get out of college and you realize I'm trying to find somebody who like will grow with me.
Exactly.
And like push me every single day to be better, my best self, like be successful, you know, all that stuff. That I think just the older that you get, you realize there's more important things than physical attraction, because that'll eventually go away.
Facts. Yeah. Like we have to be able to like talk about future and where we're going. I've like literally have lived by this. Like, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And for me to attract who I want, like I have a lot of growth to go and do. So that's that's why, again, like, I don't just go for looks anymore. It's like, where's your vision? Like, what's your next 10 years look like? What do you want out of life, you know? And having those conversations with people can be shocking because they probably never had those with, you know, people.
Right.
And that's unfortunate, you know, sometimes where I'm like, you know, like, turned off completely. Like, okay, next, like.
I think that's, our generation has shown a lot of those kind of people. I think just from dating throughout college.
Yeah.
It felt so surface level. Every relationship I got into just felt like it wasn't the right one. I knew right off the bat, but I was trying to persevere, push through whatever I saw in front of me. Even though I knew from the jump that it wasn't going to work probably.
Yeah.
I was still trying to convince myself that there was something there.
Correct.
Just because I wanted a relationship or I thought that I was doing the right thing.
And then you change like your wants and like everything because, right, you're trying to settle to be like, I'm a big fixer. Because my job, like, I'm a trainer, right? So
yeah, true.
Like my job is to develop people, and I need to learn like there's a line that I cannot cross when it comes to relationships. And no, I need to find a man who's already developed. Right. And like my job as a, you know, trainer and fixer, and you know what I mean, like that needs to be completely separate. Right. But I find that I carry that into my relationships.
Interesting.
And then that's where I'm like, oh, I could fix it, or oh, I can change his life. And it's like, no, like we need to be on a point where we're not, like, we're on the same page.
Support, not fixing.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
When did you kind of realize that it wasn't healthy to try and fix people? Was that like a recent discovery, or did that happen?
Like my expectations would be let down because it's like, okay, well, I can't fix him. And then I'd be like upset about it. It's like, that wasn't my job to begin with. Right. So that's something I really catch myself doing. And it's probably like my last few relationships where I'm like, okay, Jessie, like you got to stop, you know?
Do you think from the start of the relationship when you're dating them and you have this mindset of, oh, I can fix them into something else. Do you think you were ever in love with the actual person, or do you think you were in love with the idea where you were going to get them to? In
love with the idea of where I was going to get them
to. That's so interesting.
There's things like I've dated a lot of people, and I highly recommend guys dating. It's important. Like it doesn't even have to be like intentional dating. It's like, hey, let's go out. Like I love discovering different things about men, like different traits. Like that helps me find out what I really want, what I really like.
Definitely.
Yeah, I carry a lot of my things through work and my relationships, which I really am trying to work on. Yeah, so when like I meet a guy, I'm like, oh, I can fix them. You know, I can impact them, or I can help them. And, you know, when it doesn't work out the way I want, like I'm very disappointed. And then, you know, I'm like completely turned off. Right.
It's just a turn off for you.
Yeah. And it's like a relationship shouldn't be a project.
True.
You should, like I said, like you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So I need to keep thinking bigger with like my guys. Like I deserve better. Right. Because like I'm on this
journey, wave, discovery.
I
think the mic is off.
Is it off?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I think something that I have definitely learned in probably the last like 6 months. So I just started working out. I just started doing like daily devos and like really trying to improve myself. Yes. Kind of got to the point where I was growing my hair out super long, and I'd gotten on a FaceTime with my mom. She was like, you look like a bum. And I was like, really? Like, you don't mean that, right? I look good still. Like, I'm cute, right? So then I was like, I got to cut the hair. I got to get into the gym.
Yeah, your hair looks good. I was going to say something looks different.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I cut it all off, you know, gelled it. And now we're working out and trying to improve myself. And like you said, I think it's super important to realize that you are not going to attract what you have in your mind. Like you have this perfect guy or perfect girl in your head already. That's not who's going to show up at your doorstep. It's going to be the people that are attracted to you because you're bettering yourself.
Facts.
And they're bettering themselves, so then you guys are going to have this mutual connection.
Literally, your daily habits show who you are.
Right.
Like the fact that you get up, you go to the gym, you eat healthy, like you take care of yourself, that's so attractive, right? And for men who do not do that, like you know what their outside of life looks like.
Right.
You can never be too big for the little things.
Right.
Right? So you have to take care of yourself. That's where self-love comes from, confidence, and you're not going to have insecurity issues when you feel good and look good. Right. And that stuff is very important when you get into a relationship.
I also think that a lot of people pass up on that because they think that they can put up this mask or put up this perception that they think people see them as. But everybody has this subconscious process where we see somebody and we already have an instinct or a first impression that we might have about somebody. So we're already making assumptions about people right when we see them based on physical, you know, the way that the people stand, body language,
Correct.
the way that, you know, your body's built. Maybe you work out, maybe you don't. It shows a lot about what you do on a day-to-day basis. People are very attracted to, like, I work out, you know, I take care of myself, I get good sleep, you know, all that stuff. I think they're really important, and we don't realize how important they are to somebody else, even on a first impression basis.
Absolutely. First impressions are everything.
Right. They really are.
And like, that's a lot with my career too. When I sit with a client, like, how do I look when they see me? What do they think of me? Right. Same thing with when I'm in a date. What are their first thoughts when they look at me, when they see me, or they see the habits that I do when I'm not with them? It's very important.
Or even how you communicate.
Life and business. Correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you show confidence when you communicate, then obviously you're comfortable around people, and you've had experiences like this. You're not going to have any sort of, you know, lull moments in a relationship, because you know that they're prepared to grow with you and talk to you about real stuff and get deeper in conversation, and they're not afraid to bring up certain subjects or anything like that.
Absolutely.
I think it's super important.
It's very important, the whole thing.
All right, let's get into some nitty gritties. Do you think, extremely subjective, no judgment here.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to wait to have sex until you're married?
So everyone has their own beliefs, but for me, I'm a very intimate person. So for me to get intimate with you, that plays a huge part of like how I feel about you, where we're going, like how we're growing together. So for me, no. Right. Yeah. I don't wait till marriage. No.
I think I've talked to a lot of people, even, you know, from high school, and high school was, I went to a private Christian school, so it was very conservative and, you know, Christian based, but there were still people there that didn't even really believe in the concept of marriage. They thought it was more, you know, this connection that you have with another person and you make this covenant. Even from a religious background, you don't need the federal government to tell you when you're married, you know, like that kind of stuff. So I totally get that some people have different perceptions of waiting until marriage or not waiting until marriage. When's the right time to do it? But I think it's just on a personal level, especially if you're just talking from, you know, a very person-to-person aspect.
Absolutely. If you can wait till marriage, I think that's beautiful. Like, for me to see a relationship, love each other for who they are, and like not have any sex relationships or like, what's the right word? Right. Sexual to not have any. Like that's beautiful. Because it's true, whenever you get into a relationship, you want to create that, like, that best friend feeling, like someone you can trust. And for you to get married and not have sex, I think that's beautiful. I think it's tough too, especially with the way, you know, our culture has gotten so changed. It's crazy. Like changed. And it's changing every year. I'm actually kind of worried about like my kids someday, because I don't know how they're going to react to like the world around them, because there's no way it's going to be as docile as this. And I still think we've progressed so much in the last 10 years. No, we have definitely. Things are definitely very different now. But for sure, it is shocking the world, but I also think it's very good. You know, it doesn't have to be like so strict, and you know, we can be free and be ourselves. And is that the cat? Can you hear him? I love it. No, this is my life. Every time I'm like filming something, the cat's in. I swear. Shout out to the cat mom. Shout out to Rush. He's behind the door right now. His name's Rush? Yeah. Oh, okay. I heard something different last time. What do you think he said? I forgot. That's not what I heard, Rush. Shout out Rush. Shout out Rush. I love it. All right. Another personal question. Have you ever been in an incident in a relationship where the other person was not loyal, not honest? And how did that affect you if it has happened? Or are you the one that... No, not me. No. It's crazy you say that. My last 2 relationships, I don't know how they ended. You know, do assumptions count as cheating? You can give your personal perspective. What you kind of saw play out. Did they start getting distant with you and you kind of assume that there could have been somebody else? Or do you think that just seeing something on social media, what kind of transpired? Yeah, and I would actually love everyone's opinion on this. So if you want to comment, this is good. We'll get the Twitter polls going after the episode. Exactly, please. So after like a few years of dating, and they're already with someone a few days after. Interesting. What do you think? What do you think? You guys weren't talking before, you know, like that kind of thing? You weren't talking when we were talking? There's no way in like 3-4 days you can be in a new relationship. Is that possible? Can I get some comments? Yeah. I need some. What's going on in the peanut gallery? What do you guys think? Yeah. So like I said, I'm not going to like, it's not like I came home and a girl was in my bed with my boy. Like, right. No, once things were done, like, and I also want to know, like, Can I ask guys questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, how do guys move on so quick?
I think sometimes it comes down to a guy is really into a girl. When it ends, he tries to heal with physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes guys will go straight to other girls just to feel that intimacy again so they don't feel so lonely.
What do you think after a 3-4 year relationship, getting into another relationship, like not even a week after that?
Right away. Like, how do guys just jump into a new relationship right away?
Was there cheating involved prior? Or was it just like a magical like connection?
I think that's the toughest part about relationships is there's so much speculation, especially when you don't get closure at the end of a relationship. So if things don't end well and you guys aren't communicating, and then you just see on social media maybe he's talking to another girl now or he's getting intimate with a girl already, your first assumption is, oh, they were definitely talking when we were talking.
Right.
Your second assumption is maybe they just moved on really fast right afterwards. But I think from a guy's perspective, if I saw another guy move on that quickly, I would assume he was either already talking to her for a while or he's trying to cover up the fact that he feels super lonely. So he's trying to get that physical intimacy, that physical touch, and replace that feeling he had with his previous relationship.
I feel like that's where men and women can be a little different.
How do women process that situation? Or let's say you're the girl and you're talking to a guy after just getting out of a relationship.
Well, for me, like I literally couldn't touch a guy for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like I'm not kidding. Like I needed time to like heal and process.
I'm the same way.
But I do know there's women who are completely opposite. Either way is fine. Like I understand how you heal is how you heal.
Right.
But like I said, for my first relationship, when I got into like weightlifting and stuff, like I literally had to sit at home and deal with my shit. Like I couldn't go out. Like I was on a strict diet, like workout plan. Like I had a show to compete in. So I think even after that, like that carried into kind of like my routine of I need to like sit with my shit and deal with it and heal. But some people who maybe weren't forced into that don't know. I think if I wasn't put into that position with my first relationship, I would have been partying. I may have been out, doing things, jumping into relationships quick. But I think that's now how I handle relationships is I need time to like process and heal because there's no way you can just forget someone that quick. And if you can, then that's good. But for me,
I think if you move on that fast, you're definitely hiding something. There's no way you can just totally forget about somebody who you've made such a connection with, especially if you were intimate with them, all that stuff. It's so tough to move on that fast. So I think people just process relationships in different ways.
Absolutely.
I also think it plays a huge factor if you're an independent person before the relationship. Once you get out of it, your way of healing is to focus on yourself.
Absolutely.
Because then you're like telling yourself, oh, I don't need them. I got myself. And these are the things that I need to focus on. But then when you're in your room by yourself, that's when it really gets tough.
Exactly.
And then you got to sit with your shit.
You do. And I highly recommend it, guys. Sit with your shit. Like literally deal with it and heal. Because I've noticed there's a few things that have been coming up recently in like my last relationship that I've had to come to terms with and kind of, I need to work on this, and it's some things that I didn't fully heal through. So if you're not healing through your stuff, your next relationship, it's going to be like a huge problem, you know? And that's what I found was kind of in my last relationship, unfortunately.
So after being through multiple relationships that have lasted years now, big part of, some of like a majority of your life, or not a majority, but certain parts of your life have been really impacted by a relationship.
Correct.
How have you balanced work and relationships, life, everything other than work? How do you balance those two, out? And what kind of takes the pedestal for you?
I feel like in my past, I've always put people before me. And this chapter of my life, like within my last relationship, it's been like, it's time to take care of Jessie. Like I'm going to be selfish. And
good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I feel like because of that, I've been really like growing and spending time with myself and developing myself. And I'm okay to say I'm being selfish right now. And I'm not like boy hunting. If it happens and it's organic, then perfect. If not, like I'm not going to stop what I'm doing or take time out of what I'm doing. Or be told like I'm working too much, for you, if you fit in my schedule and it works, Right.
That's how it should be.
Absolutely. Because I've been in that situation where I've had everything taken from me because my life revolved around them. So now I'm in a situation of like, okay, cool. If you're going to be an asset in my life, then that's awesome. But you're not going to be a liability.
Right.
You're not going to take away anything that I've been working on or working towards. And I'm going to keep building my empire. And if you want to be along for the ride, then let's go.
Yeah.
But if not, like, I'm good.
Right.
Like, I'm not going through what I went through ever again.
Right. No, yeah. You can't put yourself through like the same chapters that you've already lived out.
Correct. And they were all learning experiences. I'm very thankful for them, but
yeah,
this is my chapter right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Focus on yourself. That's
Absolutely,
awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever been, because I know you're an independent person, and even in relationships, I'm sure you still have some sort of aspect of focus on yourself, but have you ever been so infatuated with somebody that the thought came up for you of, oh, I could see myself having kids with them someday? Or kids not in the picture at all?
Well, my last 2 relationships for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to date you and not want to have kids or get married with you.
True.
If you're going to have that title with me, you're lucky. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and again, that's why you said like, oh, you were dating your last guy for 5 months. I had no idea. It's like, well, because I don't just go and blast anyone. Like, you got to be a special someone. And if I even call you mine, like, yeah, I'm calling you mine because I see you as a potential husband or a father to my kids.
Right.
Right.
That's huge.
And it's, yeah, I don't just date to date anymore. Like, it's fun to go out and date and meet people, but it's like, if we're going to be consistent, it's for a reason.
Right. Mm-hmm. So your type definitely consists of, you're looking for hubby.
Like for sure.
You need the physical aspects,
yes.
You need the drive, you need the goals.
I need it all. And
that's good though. The high standards, I think, is so slept on nowadays. I think it's almost bashed a little bit to have high standards or not want to jump into a relationship right away.
You know, it's so effed up is the last 2 people I saw, they were trying to like change my mindset, because my mentors told me like, write out your husband and everything you want, and obviously what you write down you're going to attract. Right. So, you know, they were trying to deter me to like, you're not going to have everything on your list, it's never going to happen. And I started to believe these things, and that's why I was finding myself in these relationships that weren't what I wanted. But again, who you hang out with all the time is who you become. And the more that I've spent time away from them, I'm like coming back to like, okay, Jessie, like, remember, we're not settling anymore. We've already settled many times, and look at where it brought you. So when you're dating, just make sure like you stick to, you know, your beliefs and what you want, and don't let people change that because they're trying to persuade you to be with them.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I was just going to say, I think men and women do this when they see that you have, you know, a very specific standard of what you're looking for in a guy, and they don't perfectly match that mold. I think they start convincing you that maybe that's not actually the mold that you want, or even like, I can fit into that. You're never going to have the perfect guy, but I'm going to be pretty close to it.
Correct. And that's where my fixing issues come in. Because I'm like,
oh,
you're right.
That's a little off, but I can probably bring that down a little bit.
I'm like, you're right. I can fix that. Right. Yeah, we can work on this together. But it's like, no, you're not going to become my job and my husband. Right. Like, be my husband. I have a whole ass career.
And that's the difference between fixing and supporting, is they have to have the idea of, this is something that I don't like about myself and I want to fix it, but I want your support.
Correct.
Rather than, this is something that Jessie doesn't like about me, I need to fix it because she wants me to fix it, because that never works.
Correct. This man was like, tell me what's missing off the list. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you because that's going to be an insecurity for you. Right. Like, you're just not the one. So then when I ended up telling him, it's like, you know, now you feel like you have to go be someone that you're not.
And that's not your...
Don't share your list. Like, again, just keep writing it down. You're going to naturally attract that person. It's going to happen for me.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Speak into existence. That's exactly
how everything
how it works.
Is. Goals, career, life, relationships. And
it's awesome.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So the guys that you've dated in the past now, have a majority of them worked out? Is working out important to you? Is that something that's on your list? Like, you want somebody who's driven every single day to get into the gym and improve themselves physically? Or is it more so looking for a guy who mentally challenges himself every day? What's kind of your type?
1,000%. Like I said earlier, like, working out, it's like the daily habits that you do are the person you become. Like, if it's not even that, it's like your self-love. Like, you love yourself enough to go to the gym. You love yourself to eat healthy, to look good, to care about yourself. There's a difference between, like, I work out, like, I call working out therapy. If you always see, like, literally working out is my therapy. I don't go to be like, oh, I'm hot shit. Like, there's some egotistical men out there who are like, I'm hot. It's like, but you have nothing else to offer. Right. Like, use those habits though, you know, as like a good thing, like builds your confidence and stuff like that. But how you start your day is everything, or even how you end your day is everything. If you go to the gym, you work out, like, that's energy creates energy. Like, and how I see it is like they're going to be motivated people, motivated in their career, their job, and just carries in everything that they do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the same applies for women too. I've definitely seen women who are, you see them across the room and you think they're so attractive. You know, they catch your eye and you can't stop thinking about them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you talk to them and you realize like, oh my gosh, this girl sucks. Like, she's the worst. Right. So you got to be careful. And we were talking about it a little earlier. Physical attraction is important, but it's not everything. And it can't even be half. It can't even be like a majority of what you're looking for in a guy or a girl.
Yeah. Sometimes
it is important, but
it's like money and working out. Like if men are super hot,
you need Dan Bilzerian.
They could be literally so egotistical. And then people with a lot of money, you know, like always remain humble with what you're doing.
Right.
But like I personally think like it's very important in a relationship. I want to work out with you. I want to hike. I want to travel. Like if you're not breathing heavily, if you're breathing heavily while we're walking up the stairs, it's not gonna work out.
Not
like,
good.
Let's pull our shit together.
All right, so we know now Jessie is not a chubby chaser. She does not like the
I'm not
the big body, or if you're asthmatic, we don't need your application for a boyfriend.
Yes, but like shit. I can't do it. No.
So then, just to round it all off, what can a guy do to get Jessie's attention? What is something that a guy would do, like, not at a club, because I think that's tough, but let's say you saw a guy at a coffee shop. What is something that a guy would do to catch Jessie's attention?
Eye contact.
Eye contact? What does that pertain to? Give me an example.
I'm like big on my eyes. Like,
okay.
If we can lock eyes. Where are you looking?
I'm all over the place now.
I know.
I'm not trying to give off any signs.
No, like, and I feel like you know when someone locks eyes with you.
Right. When they, yeah.
No, first and foremost, yeah. That, I mean, if I'm trying to like get someone's attention, for sure eye contact. But if I'm looking at someone, like, what are they doing? Like, okay, did you say thank you? Did you open the door for someone? Like, you know what I mean? Just like little cute gestures. But
right. It is the little things that add up.
It's kind of hard to like first impressions without communicating with them to be like, oh, he's nice, or oh, he's cool. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, I have to sit down and have like a conversation with you to even be interested.
Yeah, so like, you need that relational development to even have a sort of like deeper attraction to a guy.
Correct, because again, like first impressions, looks, like that's whatever. You know what I mean? Like, very you could be so hot, I could drool over you, but it's like, again, can we sit down and have like a conversation?
Right.
Can you talk about something that excites me? Like, can we laugh? Like, can we carry a conversation? Like, you can't just really tell within like 1 to 5 seconds, you know?
I think a lot of guys get tripped up on the idea that I'm not attractive enough to get their attention, so they're never going to give me the chance of having the conversation.
You know what? Most of the guys that I've dated are probably not 10s. They might be like 6 or 7s, but I can hold great conversations with them, and because of that, it makes them a 10.
Right on.
So
shout out to all the 6s. We still got to try. Yeah, cheers. Behind the cameras, everybody's like, yes.
Just kidding. No, but seriously, like, if you can hold a conversation and make a girl smile and laugh and feel good, hold eye contact, like, be confident, like, that's all we want.
Yeah.
You know
I think that's super important.
That's way more important than how you look.
Right.
How you look is like, okay, cool, he's hot, like, I'm gonna approach him, but you know, you may not even like
connect with them.
I'm like, bye.
Right, yeah.
Right.
I just think the physical attraction is what opens the door, and then once you get into that, you can show your personality traits and stuff. I think a lot of guys feel almost cheated though, because they don't get that opportunity. Yeah. Especially when they're going out to clubs or bars or anything like that. Girls aren't really looking to have that conversation, whether the music's loud or they're with their girlfriends, nobody's coming up to them and talking to them. I think guys sometimes get a little butthurt that they don't get the chance to even like show their personality traits. And I'm sure it goes back and forth both ways with women and guys.
You know what's so hot is when someone comes up to you and just starts a conversation.
Really?
Like, don't be afraid. And for those of the people who are lacking in certain areas, like, go work on it. Like, go fix it. Like, this was not Jessie like 4 or 5 years ago.
Not a social butterfly?
There's a lot of things that I had to go and work on to become like a good person and to, you know, be nice as well. You know what I mean? Like, create this life that I have and the friends I have and you know what I mean? So just whatever you're lacking in, like if you're like, oh, I'm incompetent with talking to people, go work on it.
Right.
oh, if I'm unconfident with my business, go work on it.
Right.
If I'm unconfident with my looks, okay, go work on it. Like that is what's so great about us, is we can continue to grow and keep getting better. So don't use as like a negative, be like, oh, this is the opportunity for me to grow.
And I think people are so short term nowadays too, like with social media and having our phones on us all the time, our attention spans have decreased so much that we think once we can't get a girl's attention in the first week, then it's like we don't have a chance.
Correct.
But you just have to identify the things that you're lacking in yourself, be able to improve those. Just like if you're in the gym, let's say my legs are teeny, which they are, but squats kill me. And like I've been trying to do squats 2-3 times a week now.
That's
just
good.
Because I hate it so much that I want to get to a point where I love it.
Absolutely.
I think it's the same thing with developing your business, developing your communication skills, developing your relationships.
Absolutely. Nothing's like instant gratification.
Right.
If you want something though, you're going to be patient and you're going to work hard for it. Absolutely.
So something that I've definitely noticed within even, relationships, if you look out at relationships, people who are dating right now, for whatever reason, it seems like girls who are in relationships are super attractive. A lot of them are 9s, 10s, good-looking girls.
Right.
But the guys that they're dating, though, are usually 6, 7, 8s.
Yeah.
Why do you think it is that guys who are maybe a little less attractive pull girls that are top game, super cute?
Right. So, no, that's a really good question. So I feel like the reason the 6s and 7s are pulling the 10s is because they realize they have some stuff they need to work on.
True. And
they're actually working on it. Whereas the 10s, they're very egotistical. Yeah, they may look good, they work out, but they're not working on the shit that they need to actually attract those 10s. Attract those 10s. So a lot of the times, exactly like I was saying earlier, is like I will go for the 6s and 7s because they've developed themselves. Again, it comes with confidence. It comes with them working on themselves. And, they're usually like the most to relate to, whereas the 10s, you feel like I'm not good enough.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge parallel, even if you look at the stereotypical, you got the really good football player in high school, the jock. He doesn't have to work at all in school or anything like that.
Right, you can pull anyone.
Yeah, but then once high school football's over and he doesn't get that scholarship he was planning on and he doesn't have the grades to go to school,
their ego's dropped.
Right.
Because they've been looked at as like, oh my God,
He's
this, and this. But it's like, okay, well, you weren't working on anything personally to get you where you're going to be outside of being a football jock.
Right. And I think a lot of guys don't see that that's what girls are looking for.
Facts.
That communication, that relational building.
Women want to be vulnerable with someone, and we're also looking for a companion, a best friend, someone to feel like comfort. And even emotionally. Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like the 6s and 7s, they understand the shit that they've been through, and they understand the vulnerability and what they took, like what it took for them to grow. So that's why it's easy to relate with them. Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I totally agree too. Yeah. I think even as guys get older too, they understand that concept more as physical attraction is super important. But if a girl has been so attractive her entire life, she's never had to work for a relationship, she also thinks that she can get away with anything she wants to. Because if this relationship ends, she can just jump to the next guy. Facts. And maybe he'll treat her better, but she's going to, not be working on herself, not improving in the areas that she should be. She's just relying on her attractiveness. And that's why it's important to find someone who is like, hey, Jack, like you acted out on this. Why'd you do that? Right. And it's like, we need to have those conversations of, well, I act that way because of past traumas and to grow through those things together versus like calling that person like childish or like, that's not okay, and like actually dissecting what is going on and why they're acting that way. And that's how people build an actual relationship. Do you think that's something that you're looking for now in a relationship, is somebody who you can really pour out to and tell them, this is why I act a certain way. These are my past traumas. These are the things that have affected my personality up to this point. And even though I'm trying to improve, like I'm just highlighting them now so that these are the areas I need to work on. Absolutely. Guys, like I'm 26. It's time to have those adult conversations with people. Time to grow up. Anytime you even have any relationship with anyone, we're all so different. Like everyone is so different. And if you want to have a lasting relationship with someone, you have to understand where they came from and why they are the way they are. Right. And you either have to accept it and work on it with them, or it's not for you. Right. If you're not patient with somebody and helping them grow and understanding them, then you're just looking for a quick price. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you genuinely care about someone and you care about why they're acting the way they are or why they feel the way they do, and you want to like help understand them and work on it with them, then that's how true relationships work. I think a true sign of like really loving somebody is wanting them to grow
and excel
Absolutely.
and succeed on their
Yeah.
own, apart from, oh, this is the girl that's around my arm and she looks good on my hip. It's more so I want her to be as successful as she can apart from me, being independent.
Yeah.
But then we're working as a team, both kicking ass.
You need to be building each other up.
Right.
Absolutely.
Super important. That's awesome.
It's very important.
All right. Well, let's dive into a game because
Let's do it.
we've been spilling deets and really giving some good knowledge. But
It
I think
has
it's
been good. I hope you
I think
guys liked it.
yeah, it's time to play some cute or cringe. So this is how it works. Jesse, I'm going to read off some prompts for you. Prompts, whatever.
Prompts, okay.
And
Some note cards.
yeah, I got note cards. Super professional. Says C or C on the back. As you can see, I wrote it in Sharpie.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So I'm going to read these off, and you're going to tell me cute or cringe. And then
Okay.
you're going to have to explain your answer.
All right. I'm down.
So
Let's
I'm
do
going to randomize them quick. No specific order.
Okay.
Some of them are going to be...
Where'd you pull these from?
Came up with them on my own.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is Jack Cuter.
Yeah, this is Jack's cute and cringe. Things that
Love it.
I really need to know.
All right. I love it. Are you taking notes?
Well, I got the camera on,
Okay.
so I'll go back and watch it.
I'll
make sure to
Right.
double back on it. All right, so for your first one, cute or cringe, Harry Styles in a dress.
Cringe.
Really? Why
Any
do you say
man
that?
in a dress. is
Not your
cringe.
thing?
I'm good. Yeah.
I think a lot of girls nowadays think it's attractive. Like it shows like this feminine, vulnerable side.
I'm confused.
About? Have you seen Harry Styles in a dress?
Girls are attracted to men in dresses.
I think sometimes.
I'm okay.
You're not. So it's cringe for Jess.
For you women that love that,
More
props
power to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But not your thing. Yeah, I respect
I'm
it.
okay. I'll wear the dress.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. If I could.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
All right. Second one, cute or cringe, girls who make the first move.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
That's me. Hi.
Hey, what's up? I'm
That's me.
Jesse.
I'm like, you're talking about me? Yeah.
I think one of the most attractive things for a guy is a girl that makes the first move.
And what's most attractive is a guy waiting for a girl to make the first move. Because some guys can come off way too strong.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a guy that's like kind of like standoffish a little, like I'm going to wait. Like that's hot. It's like, be patient.
Yeah.
Because we obviously know where it's going to go.
Right. If
you can
she's
hold
with you,
off
right? Like
and if you can hold off and actually just listen to me talk for a few hours,
Yeah.
let me make the first move. Yeah, like that's hot.
That's so interesting. I think most guys have this assumption that they have to make the first move on the first date at the end of the night.
I
No
think
matter
it's
how it goes.
situational for sure. But again, I feel like I really don't mind doing it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's a consensus for a lot of girls? They don't mind making the first move. They're just waiting to see if the guy is okay with them making the first move.
I feel like after a first date, you really know. But I feel like if it's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. We're sitting at dinner and you're trying to make out with me over appetizers, like it's way too soon. It's like, let's converse. And then, at the end of the day, like if I'm feeling it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've been on dates where it's been way too soon.
Right.
It's just like, okay, like, hi, nice to meet you.
And
like,
is that a turn off if it happens too soon? Then you're like,
is
oh, I'm
because
kinda
like,
out of
oh,
it now.
do you do this with everyone?
Yeah.
Are you actually interested in it, like getting to know me, or are you just trying to like make out and
Yeah.
No. It's a huge turn off, like huge.
Interesting.
Very
That's good to
huge.
know.
I feel like it's vibes. Like as you get older, like you can tell when shit is mutual.
Mhm.
Like when there's tension and it's like exciting, like
Right.
like
I think she
but
could
if
definitely
it's
tell.
like awkward and we're doing it because it's like we're together, let's just make out, like you can tell the vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
Did we just say for sure at the same time?
Yeah, I think so.
Jinx.
For sure. Jinx. Oh, I thought you were gonna say for sure again.
For sure.
All right, this goes pretty organically, but the next one is cute or cringe. Good night smooch on the first date.
I love making out, so I'm down.
So but only if the
Like I
vibes
said,
are right.
Like I said, I'm very an intimate person, but if the vibes are right,
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
Because if they're not, then I think kissing is just totally.
But
off the
then you
table.
can also tell, like, if the vibes aren't right, the make out isn't that good.
Right. Yeah. Like your eyes are open, looking around, like.
Yeah, you're like,
checking
hey,
the
is this
clock.
done? Can I
Yeah.
go home?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, cute or cringe. Baby talk. Couples that baby talk.
Oh, I'm a huge
Baby talker.
If I'm comfortable, yeah, my last relationships for sure.
Really? What's your go-to baby talk? Or what's your go-to pet name for a guy?
Pet name?
Like, oh, what's up, honey? Oh, hi, cutie pie. What's up, Stinky?
This is so embarrassing. I can't.
Dude, say it.
Honestly, you have me so nervous right now.
Really? I have that effect on women.
Well, my last you got me. My last relationship. No, I'm done. Can we?
You don't have to.
I think the mic muted.
Are we cutting out?
Yeah, we're cutting out.
All right, cute or cringe? Popping pimples for each other.
Oh, love
it?
Love. Cute.
You like it too?
Cute.
Oh.
Okay, more so, I'd rather be popping your zits than you popping mine. I don't really get zits.
Really?
Like once a month around the
face, chin.
Yeah, no, I actually find it really fun.
Really?
I'm like, my friends are like, please volunteer. I'm like, yeah.
What about it? Like
my last relationship, I actually popped his zit off his butt, and it was so fun. Like we were, like it was cute. It's so cute. It's like it's kind of like we're getting to that stage of comfort, you know. It's like, hey, like we're all humans. Like we have zits, like. Yeah. So to be able to kind of be like, I do get him just like once a month, you know? Yeah. But to be able to like have that vulnerable of like, hey, I'm not perfect. Like I have.
So is it more so like what it means, like the idea that you're so vulnerable and cool with it? Or is it more so like, is there something aesthetically pleasing about popping a pimple? Because I don't get it at all. I think it's gross.
Okay, well, I think it's very pleasing.
Really?
If it's not just even like a friend, it's pleasing. But to do it with like a couple, like we were laughing, like it was just cute. It's like,
that is cute.
It's like, okay, it's gone.
I get it.
We're good. You're bleeding. Like I don't know. It's just bleeding. I guess it was an intimate moment. It might be weird for others, but it was like a stepping stone.
Right. I get it. No, I understand why people enjoy it. It's not my cup of tea.
I agree. Yeah, cute for me, cringe for you. Got it.
Cringe for me for sure.
Yeah.
Couples that work out together, cute or cringe?
Very cute. It's hot.
Does it ever bother you when you see other people working out together?
No, it would never. I don't look at couples like that or jealous or anything. Like I envy it. I'm like, wow, I can't wait to be like you one day. Like, cool. I think it's dope as shit. It's cool to find someone who has the same hobbies and like interests as you.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever really affects me because I try to be so conscientious when I'm at the gym not to look at other people. I don't want guys to think that I'm trying to either show them up or like try and copy them. Yeah. And I don't want girls to feel uncomfortable in a gym because I want this to be like their safe haven. It's not, you're not at the club to pick up girls. Right. You are at the club to pick up girls. You're not at the gym to pick up girls.
Right.
So I always try and like not even look at people.
Facts.
So I don't even really notice couples working out. I mean, I'll see them out of the corner of my eye, but it doesn't affect me in any way.
That's good. And you know, when I used to work at the gym before I got a trainer, like if I saw like a really cool workout that they were doing, like I'd actually go and ask them, you know, and that's, hey, I like that workout, or like that's how you make friends and
networking.
It's also like it's good to hear. But I would obviously when guys do that to girls, it's really annoying.
Is it?
It's very different for women. Women can go and approach people at the gym, but men, it's kind of like, this is like my safe, like I call working out therapy. Like, do not interrupt me, please. Like I'm doing.
I think some guys are like that, but I also think there is the lack. I mean, there's not. It's just different for men and women. Because guys have. Well, I don't even know how. You know, men are just wired differently.
Guys, stop staring at women at the gym. Yeah. Like, please. Just, if you want to talk to them when they're leaving. Right. There's nothing more annoying than looking up and being like, 10 eyes are looking at you while you're doing squats. Like, I want to get off the squat machine. I want to go home. I
think that's the difference is as a guy, you don't have a ton of women staring at you while you're working out.
Yeah, I don't care.
I think girls, when they walk in, you know, wearing yoga pants, doing squats, guys are like.
It's like.
You know, staring them down.
Very inappropriate.
Yeah, it really is, to be honest.
Exactly. Like we should feel comfortable to go work out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It should be your safe haven.
Right.
Guys with nipple piercings, cute or cringe?
Cringe.
Really, not a fan. Yeah. You're not into that like rock and roll kind of guy. A couple of metal studs on his nips.
No, I'm good. I honestly don't like men with piercings at all.
I don't either, really.
Like, even not if you have like your ears, like, no, that's so Backstreet Boys. Like, no, guys, take the piercings out. We're done with that.
It's not 1997 anymore.
No, it's done.
We're not joining boy bands.
But if you have them, you look good.
Yeah, yeah, but other than the guys who are already, if you're already locked and loaded, you might as well keep them.
Yeah, they look good.
Unless they're on your nipples, I think it's super cringe.
Whatever works for you.
What about girls?
Girls, nipple piercings. I used to have mine done. Yeah. No, I think they look amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Got rid of them though? Not into it anymore? Just less piercings, or what kind of instigated?
I got my boobs done and they couldn't get them back in after. They're like, they closed up that quick. So
shoot.
I was like, I will never experience that pain ever again in my life. We're not doing round 2. Fine. I'll take them out. Yeah. This is the worst.
So all right. Cute or cringe? Splitting the bill on the first night.
Cringe.
Why?
So whoever asks the person on the date should pay. And
I like that take.
After that date, if things are good and they progress, that's when it's typically, okay, let's do 50-50. You know what I mean? Like if it's going to become a relationship. But no, first date, if you ask a girl out, by all means, take care of her. That is the first impression. Like literally, if you can't pay the full bill, then don't take the girl out.
Facts. Low key. You kind of changed my mind a little bit, because I've always been super strong on, if it's our first date and I don't know you and we're strangers and I think you're cute, awesome that we're hanging out, but should I really be paying for your food if I don't know who you are?
Then don't take her out.
Right.
If you're going to show any interest in her, like you're selling yourself at that point. However, if I'm dating you, it's a very different scenario. It will be, I'll pay, you pay the next time, I'll pay. Like it's very 50-50.
That's cool.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask me on a date, do not expect me to pull my card out.
Cool.
Like you asked me out.
Yeah, that
right?
makes sense.
Absolutely.
I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, your last one. Couples that cry together. Cute or cringe?
That's like 50-50.
Really?
It depends on the situation.
Like the frequency of how many times they cry together, or where they're crying?
Why they're crying?
Yeah.
I mean,
good episode of Grey's Anatomy or something.
I mean, I've cried with like an ex when we're breaking up, but
never like happy tears though.
Like
when you get so vulnerable with a person. That,
oh yeah, no, that's beautiful. For sure. I don't get weird when a guy cries around me. I guess if it's like a lot of times, that's kind of a turn off. Yeah. It's kind of like control your emotions a little bit. Yeah. Like you can ask like every guy that I've dated. I don't like really cry in front of them at all.
You don't cry in front of guys, really?
I'll take care of my shit behind doors. No, they think I'm weird that I don't cry.
You also said though that you haven't really had a guy where you're comfortable, or even they've shown interest in really diving into your past traumas, or like digging deeper into who you are as a person, or even the bad sides of you, the things that you need to work on. So do you think that if you found somebody who was willing to really like dig deeper, do you think it would be cute to cry with them about certain things if it was really like opening up past trauma stuff, or deep stuff?
It does stem from comfort for sure. But I mean, I've cried in my long-term relationships with them for sure. But I mean, like casually dating, like, no, I've never cried. I've always done it behind doors. Interesting. But I think even moving forward, that's something I'm going to carry with me, because signs of weakness aren't good for me, at least. I'm going to, sometimes it takes me time to process things. So I'm going to do it behind doors, and then I'm going to come with you and let's have like a logical conversation, not an emotional conversation. I
respect that though. I think that's what a lot of relationships are lacking, especially when people jump into, I've just seen so many people jump into marriage so fast after college, like some of my friends. And I've seen so many like divorces at like 24 really in the last like 4 years. And I think it's because people are so emotionally charged to get into the situation that they think they're supposed to be in, that they totally lose track of, these are the things I have to work on personally, and then let's come together, have a logical conversation about how we can help each other out. Exactly. And they haven't had time to find out who they really are. True. Like your 20s, like if I was still in my last relationship, I don't even think I would be Jessie who I am today. Really? Like you got to spend some time alone. Like Facts. you got to date, like you got to have fun. I'm getting it all out, because when I find that one, like I'm retiring from the clubs. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's, but in the meantime, like I'm going to live my life and have fun and go do those things. And it's not like I'm going to be doing that in a relationship, but same thing. But I'm just saying, like emotionally, I think that it's important to like keep your emotions together sometimes. If you show your weakness in front of guys and ladies, I'm just saying this through experience. I've been vulnerable with men, and they've taken it for granted. So no longer have I been like, I'm going to let a man see me like that. I'm going to take care of my emotions behind doors. Let's talk when I'm process things. I'm emotionally like good. Right. And then let's have a logical conversation. That's huge. I think that's so important. And I think that's a super attractive trait for guys. I think guys are totally looking for a girl who, because obviously we know that women are more of an emotional creature than we are. And I'm a Cancer. I'm very emotional. Everyone knows. So that's why it's like, with men, I cannot stoop to that level. I think it's important to know when you're supposed to be emotional and when you're supposed to be logical. I'll cry at a wedding with you. Like I'll cry like
Like, but if you piss me off, I'm not gonna cry in front of you. Like,
Right.
no, you will not see me being weak.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations. You've completed our first ever Cute or Cringe game.
I love it.
Yeah.
That was good, actually. Those are good questions.
Good.
I'm down.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Awesome. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I think we got a ton of content. Thank you so much for showing up. I do appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Guys, thanks so much for watching the first episode of Birdwatching. We'll catch you next Monday. Life is gray, so